Welcome to this digital premiere of May's Masterclass with MPOWDER. Before we begin, a quick reminder that today's conversation is designed for general educational purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, or replace personalised medical, dermatological, or professional advice. And if you do have a concern about your skin health or symptoms, we always recommend speaking with a qualified healthcare practitioner. But today is really all about helping us better understand why midlife skin changes happen, from collagen loss to shifts in hydration, to the impact of stress, sleep, and gut health, and importantly, what we can realistically do about them at home. And we'll be exploring practical, accessible protocols that support the face from the inside out too, including Buccal massage, jaw release, facial cupping, face taping, and also some really simple skincare strategies that don't require a huge budget face of treatments. Now, I'm joined for this session with the amazing Justine Masters. And what I love about Justine's approach is that it combines context with action. So helping us understand the why behind what's changing, whilst also giving us hands-on techniques that we can begin integrating into everyday life immediately. You'll also hear us reference a number of tools throughout today's session, including the Canyon RF device by Anti-Beauty and the eco-friendly facial cups, which we end up using together. Justine uses these with her clients. I use them at home. And if you'd like to learn more about them, they can be purchased directly through Justine's shop by heading to the tools section on her website, which is at www.justinemasters.london. And if you're looking for personalised guidance on products, routines, or where to begin, it's best to connect with Justine through do that over Instagram. That's the easiest way. She shares a lot of information there as well, tutorials, recommendations on products. And I think before you buy anything, it's always worth having a conversation with her first. And she's always incredibly generous with her time over Instagram too. So head to Instagram and look for @the alternative facialist. Now, enjoy the session. Justine, you are the first human that has got me on screen without any makeup on. And I'd also like to point out the only reason I can come on screen without any makeup on is because you've done such amazing things for my face. I'm going to talk about all of that this evening. Firstly, thank you so much for being so generous with your time and joining the MPOWDER community this evening. I cannot wait. And as I've explained to people that are purchasing tickets for this particular session, we decided to pre-record this, one, because your brain is so ridiculously large and we've got so much to get through, but also so much of what you do is designed to help us cut through the BS. And many of your tips are at-home hacks, really, that we can learn to do for ourselves. So before we get into all of that and we share some of the magic that you share with your clients every day, could I ask you to take a step back and start by telling me what happens to our skin as we hit midlife and why do we need to think about skincare differently?
It changes for everyone. Some people who have had oily skin, they'll go into midlife and all of a sudden their skin is now perfect. The reason being our hormones control everything from our collagen to our oil glands, our hydration, our elastin. So a lot of people feel like they've aged overnight or they can then develop very sensitive skin. They can feel that their skin is a lot more inflamed and also that they sometimes just don't know what to do with their skincare because the products that they've been using previously are no longer working for them. And sometimes it's just finding the right skincare and the right practitioner maybe to elevate your skin if you feel like you are aging overnight. But it's an inside outside job with me. It is all about what is your gut doing as well as what is your stress is doing in life.
Stress is such a biggie, and I know we're going to come on to that as well. I know as well what I love about your holistic practice is that focus on nourishment from within. I know you're a fan of gut instinct and prescribe that with a lot of your clients as well. But I think it's that whole body and mind philosophy that really grabbed me when I first came across you, which is nearly 5 years ago now, and you've been a member of this community for so long. I want you to talk to me a little bit about how
we think about supporting beauty and health naturally, because as you said, a lot of it is around how we digest stress, the stresses that we come across in everyday life, the toxicity, the reality of living in a city, if we're in a city, the reality of the food we're putting on plate. Can you talk to me a little bit about some of the things you think about when you're looking at a skin like mine, for example?
So I will always go food first.
Mm.
But we've got to look at the aspect of stress. It doesn't matter what we're putting internally or externally if we are not addressing that. And that's why I brought Reiki into my practice,
Yes.
because I found so many of my clients were so stressed that it didn't matter what I put on their skin because they were not healing.
Mm.
So I also give my clients things like meditation, breath work, also maybe supplements that are
Yeah.
going to help with their mood, their digestion as well, because everything's impacted. When you are stressed, the inflammation in your skin is higher. Your digestion changes. Our HCl, our stomach acids, and our enzymes actually reduce. But then we've got that in midlife as well. Our
Yes.
gut changes. We are much more higher in cortisol, and also our skin and also our anxiety level
Mm.
can change as well. So we've got to look at that. We can't just go, what products are you using? What advanced facials are you having? What are you eating? If you've got that stress, you have to deal with that, because the body does keep a score, and emotions can sit within the body. And unless they are released, that sometimes we can't even deal with certain skin issues like rosacea, like pigmentation. So addressing stress is key. And then moving on to food. What are you eating? Are you eating right for you? Not what the internet says. Yes, we do need protein. Yes, we do need fiber. But finding out what foods are right for you. And that varies with everyone. So don't just look to what the influencers are talking about. Find out when you have foods, are you flushing? Is your stomach bloating? Do you feel comfortable when you're having those foods? I've got a lot of heat within my body. So having foods that create that heat make my skin much more inflamed, much more red. The color of my skin will change. So I had to start noticing what foods were happening to me. And that's what we need to be aware of. What is our body saying, not what the internet is saying.
I love that. I love that. It's so wise. And this evening session is pre-recorded in part because I did want to dig into, you talked a little bit about stress, but you also talked about the sort of the need to release. And I know you do a lot with your hands. I've had the privilege, and we'll come on to talk a little bit about your advanced facials in a
Yeah.
while. But I want to talk to you first about Boccal massage. I want you to talk me through how members in our community can actually look to use that as a technique. But what is it, and why have you become such a fan of advocating for it? Because you do a lot on Instagram about it, and I know we're going to talk about a particular muscle tonight that I'd never heard of until we came into this course. Can you explain why that's useful, why it's related to stress, and then we can go into a practical exercise with you?
Okay, so you've got to think of what stress does to the body. And stress over time will put tension within the muscles. We talk a lot about the masseter muscle, which is the jaw muscle. As we sleep, we can be crunching down or clenching our jaw over time, over and over again. And that muscle and the fascia tissue around it gets tight. And over time, that can pull on the face. Now, we've got to look of posture as well, and how that has an impact, as well as stress on the body and the face. I believe the body keeps emotions, and the jaw is very much linked to unspoken words or words that we're saying to ourselves. So if you are not releasing the words that you need to say, that someone's upset you and you're keeping that in, we can kind of clench down and say those words in our sleep. And that over time connects. And also our posture, we're all looking down as well. So the tightness never releases. It's not like you could go for a massage and you release your shoulder. Your face needs to be released. So what Buccal facials do is they go a little bit deeper than you just massaging your face. You're going internally, where a lot of the tissue and fascia can get caught. We need lots of water to make sure the lymphatic system flows, because the fascia needs hydration as well as the lymphatic system to work. So what a buccal facial is that you're going internally and massaging to release areas that you cannot reach externally. And once you do that, the fascia and the muscles can then go back into a position to where they're meant to be, because you've now released that tight tissue. It's all about the tension within the face.
That's so interesting. And we've got two ways that we're going to be talking about how we can implement this. What I love about it as a practice is well, route one is entirely free. Route two is incredibly cost efficient and includes these little strange objects here that we're going to be talking about.
The facial
I've washed my hands.
Yes.
I've washed my face, Justine. I'm ready. So can you take me through? And I will try and replicate, because I am literally the most adept individual when it comes to these things. So if I can do it, I feel like anyone in our community will be able to pick it up. I am the lowest denominator. So can you talk me through what we're going to be doing? And I came to you because one of the things that I was worried about was, one, it hurt. It almost hurt along here. I could feel these lumps, but also my jowls have always been the thing that I've become aware of. And I did almost instinctively know that when I suppose I would think when I'm tired, they look worse. But actually, it's probably when I was stressed, they look worse, because obviously stress and tiredness go hand in hand. So can you talk me through, just tell me what we need to do, and I'm going to try and follow along and ask questions as we go.
Some people like to put a glove on, but if you've washed your hands and it's perfectly clean, it's all good.
Good, I am ready.
So I like to, depending on where you're placing your hands within your mouth. So today I put something up on my Instagram about a little junction within our facial areas. So the turn down look here, where it can get a little bit noduly around the corners of the mouth. And it's the modalis junction muscle. So it's where a lot of the muscles all meet at once. We don't talk about it very often. You will have to release other muscles to get to this. But say you just want to work on those turn down smiles, you can put your thumb inside your mouth and then start turning. You'll feel a little lump. Give me a couple of circles. And then you pull in towards the corners of the mouth to release it.
Okay.
Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper and go towards the masseter muscle, the big main muscle that we clench down over time. So doing the same, you can sometimes use a little bit of oil there if you need some slip. I like to do that, but just the tiniest amount, because you want, in a way, to just have that grip to the side as well. So you're placing your thumb, you're going inside again, and then where the big muscle is back here, you are circling around and you will feel this. And then pull in to release. Circle, pull in to release.
Amazing. I can feel like bumps. And that
And
basically
you
that's
will
my
feel them inside as well.
yes.
That inside tissue that just gets caught. Because if you're massaging the outside, what about all that tissue on the
Yes.
inside?
Yes.
So you can feel all of those little bumps and just work along
Yeah.
on the outside, but you are working with your thumb
Yes.
on the inside to bring that out and stretch it and release it.
So interesting, Justine. And
The muscles just get shortened. So all you're
doing is
expanding that and releasing that tension. I like to do that about 10 times, 4 rounds on each side.
would that be a morning
Just
practice
to-
or an evening practice, or does it not matter?
I like to do the evening because one, if you're putting skincare on in the evening,
Mhm.
that's that repair time.
Yes.
And you're releasing everything then. You're letting go of the day.
Yes. Yes.
So it's the best time to maybe listen to a meditation. I love to do facial cupping in the evening. I just do it 3 times a week and just 3 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. You don't need to overwork the skin. And I would do the Buccal facial before the cupping,
Okay.
just to really help release, and then working the cups, which we're going to show you, to then release even further on the outside. So you're working on the inside, and then you're releasing the tissue on the outside.
I love it. So that's exercise number 1. Again, just to reiterate for the community, it can be done in the evening. It's what would you say, Justin, in terms of time spent? Like how many minutes is that? That doesn't feel like a long commitment
You
to
know
me.
what? 20 minutes is all you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
And if you're winding down anyway, and you're switching off from devices, which we should be, 2 hours beforehand,
Yes.
to really make sure that we are getting no blue light at all, then that is your time.
Yeah.
You can
Your
even
routine.
sit there and watch TV even, but releasing it nightly, you are not going to get that build up.
Right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
you are going to create that space where the tissue is not going to start pulling down, and you will see how your jowls will change.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely noticed a difference. And so that's exercise number 1. And exercise number 2, as you said, is these cups. So talk to me about these, because it's incredibly cost efficient. I bought some from you and they cost me less than £10, maybe £15.
People know facial cupping through Chinese medicine.
Yes.
And it's to create flow and energy within the skin cells, but they have so many benefits. As well as releasing tension, they also make minor micro traumas in the skin. So the collagen then goes, oh, we might need to rebuild that. So
I
they
didn't know
really
that.
do help with collagen production. But they also are great at bringing nutrients to the skin, feeding the skin cells. So they're amazing for that. So they are generating lots of oxygen and bringing life to the skin as well. So radiance, and also creating that space, again, like I talked about, releasing the fascia and the tissue to help sculpt.
I love it. And I have to admit, I was a little bit intimidated because I've seen you do these magical exercises on Instagram, and my brain just went, oh, this all looks too complicated. So I bought them and I've literally only unpacked them before today. So I apologize. But I think that's for many of us. It's overwhelming. I kind of know that this was cost efficient and accessible. I should be able to find a way to do it. And I failed. So I'm hoping what you can do is give us a very simple, structured routine, again, with me as your guinea pig, because I am rubbish at following instructions. And then if I can do it, I'm going to do this the next 30 days and share it with our community. But I really hope that other people in our community will feel it's a little less overwhelming to give it a go with you as well.
The thing is, you've got 2 cups. So you've got the baby cups.
Yeah.
And you've got the large cups.
Yes.
Okay. They do different things. The larger cups, think larger areas.
Okay.
And all they are doing is moving along and creating space. So I always put oil in, make
Right.
sure that you've got enough oil.
Okay.
So creating that oil onto the skin. I like to do the forehead going down and then down the neck. We don't do too much cupping down the neck because we've got some major arteries, but we need to release because we've obviously got our lymphatic system around the ears, around the jawline, behind the ears, and then down into the clavicle. Whenever I do any massage or cupping, I open the clavicle area because we need to drain any toxins into the clavicle. So what you do is cross over and with 2 fingers, a little downward pump into the clavicle. And can you feel that kind of pump system? Just a couple of pumps, that's all you need, moving up to the side. There we go. And that's all you need to do. That is just opening that drainage system.
Right.
Okay, then we're taking the larger of the cups.
Okay.
I like to go behind the ear, press and hold, and go down. Just to open up, you only need 1 go on either side, just to open up that back portal that's behind your ear.
Right.
Okay.
So when then I was following down that line, was
yes.
that kind of,
so from behind the ear, you're following that down into that area. It's just to stimulate and make sure it's open. Then say you want to deal with a little chin sagging. You can do the press and hold underneath and let go. Now this is breaking down any fatty tissue underneath the chin. Now, one thing that a lot of people might not know is the positioning of your tongue determines this. So when you are in any mode, you put your tongue to the roof of your mouth. That is where your tongue should be positioned.
Wow.
And if you do it, this area tightens up. So I like to just do some press and hold and release. You never keep it on there because you can then get bruising. That's when you're doing the kind of more Chinese cupping where you are trying to bring blood flow or stagnant blood flow to the surface. So after you've done a few press and holds, I like to do 6, 3 times round. We're now going to start working on the jawline. So I like to support the skin. And then press the bottom of the cup and moving it up towards your ear. And release. And then release.
When you release, Justine, what does that do? Is that just to sort of...
You're just finishing at the top to release.
Right, right.
And then, so 6 of those, 3 times on each side. And then that's just working to create some space with the tight tissue on your jaw. I like to do that area because it really does release that tight
I can feel the
area.
bumps like going...
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it's all just that tight tissue that is underneath.
Yeah.
And then that's all you're going to do. 6.
Yeah.
3 times. Then we're going to work on the cheek area. And we always drain out towards the ears because that's where our nodes are, lymphatic nodes. And then finish. Now you will go a little bit pink, but that's just blood flow and that's a good sign.
Yeah.
If you are sensitive around this area, please, or broken capillaries, do not do that area.
Right.
You don't want to create more issues. So if you've got rosacea, if you've got acne, you don't want to be going over any live acne. You can go around it, above it, but not over.
Right, that's really helpful to know.
So then you're moving out and up. I always like to support the skin, but you always go out and up. Okay, so the big cups. Then we want to release any of this tight fascia around here. So the 11 lines and then the stagnant horizontal lines. So you can start around where the bottom of the brow is and work up. Always go as far as the hairline and then finish. Because a lot of these stagnant lines here is above the brow. So into the hairline. If you want to create a better arch, because your fat pads are depleting and the eyes are closing, we want to be able to hook on the brow and lift up. Can you feel that? Now, doing that, you are obviously opening up that muscle, but you're also opening up this area here where the crow's feet are. So the more we open up in this area and create space, you're opening up the eye.
Oh, interesting. Wow, look,
Yeah.
You can see the difference, can't you?
Yeah. And it's just all that tight tension because we're looking down. Remember, you've got to remember, this is one big muscle over here. So I always work in the scalp because if I want to create space here, I've got to create space all the way down back of my neck.
That is amazing.
So
Can you see, Justine, just what's happened already with my, because I'm not obviously doing it as often as you.
Opening up that eye area because the muscles, we need to release that tension. And you can really give yourself a beautiful arch and open up and get rid of the hooded eyes of creating the space above.
That's amazing.
Just a few times per week, drop mine, and as you look already, you've caught on how to do it.
Yeah, it's not as intimidating actually as when you used to walk through it. And this is so easy.
As long as you've got enough oil and it's very, like, I bet your face feels very different already.
Yeah, it's really satisfying. It's actually, it feels really nice. It feels kind of, it does feel like a self-care practice rather than torture.
Of course. And it is actually quite relaxing. And it takes you into a state where you feel very relaxed and you're creating a lot of space within your face.
Yes, and you're releasing tension that we're carrying in our body.
So then I move over. I then go from the top of here. We never go underneath the areas until I use the baby ones.
Right, okay.
So I then work from the nose. This is great for sinuses, opening up the sinuses area. So if you get a lot of sinus problems or headaches, this can really help to give you any release from all of that mucus that can be sitting there. So really helpful for puffy eyes as well.
Yes, which I get really badly.
Already I can feel the tension in my jaw and my face. My face feels much more open. But then the oil is obviously being pushed in and working more.
Yeah.
And then you're going to bed with all of this tension gone. Your skin is very different in the morning because you've got that oil that's being pushed in even further with the heat of the cups, and your jaw is being released. You do not wake up as puffy as you normally would because you're opening up the sinuses, you're opening up the lymphatic system.
It feels amazing.
So that is the bigger cups.
Yes.
Then we've got the smaller cups that can work underneath the eye. So we do a press and hold, and that can help with dark circles and puffiness. And
so I'm
then,
just letting the section happen, aren't I? I'm literally just putting down, Justine.
Yeah. And that's it. You're just press and hold. And then you can work on the eyelids to
Right.
tighten those. So you just do 6, 3 rounds, and that's it on
Okay.
either side. And that's going to help to depuff the eyes, work on circulation, dark circles, help to tighten up that area if you've got some loose skin. And
Yeah.
that's really going to help. Then with the smile lines, you can
Mm.
work down the smile lines
Okay.
to soften them. You can even work across. Or even up. And then the smile lines on the lips.
Oh.
And if you don't want to do lip filler, you can plump the lips with the press and hold.
Oh, weird. God, that's
So versatile. And as you said, you don't have to. If you do not have the money to do anything, these cups
yeah.
are just a simple way of you taking control of your skin aging
Yeah.
your way. Not everyone can afford or wants to do Botox and filler. This is a way of you actually taking control of your pro-aging, as I
Yeah.
like to call it. So
Yeah.
all of that, working those smile lines inward, always supporting the skin.
It's
And
so noticeable that I'm having to do both sides so I don't look lopsided. I'm really surprised at
yeah,
how immediate it is.
yeah,
For me, more than you, because obviously you do this all the time, whereas my
yeah.
face is just like one big stress blanket,
Yeah,
basically.
well, that's the thing, is the more consistent you
Yeah.
are. I'm 55 now.
Yes,
I
you
don't
look
do
phenomenal.
Botox. And these cuts really transformed because I'm consistent with them, like I am
Mm,
my
mm,
skincare. But, you know, I do a bit more advanced, because I'm doing facial cups. And
mm,
then obviously we need to be leading on to the next thing that I
mm,
do,
mm.
which is face taping.
Yes, let's talk about that. So this is exercise number 2. So for people
Yeah,
that are curious, we're going to, in the
yeah,
show notes, provide
yeah,
details of how you can get a hold of
yeah,
these. Justin
yeah,
actually sells them.
yeah,
It's just worth getting them from you because you know what you're doing. So I'll
yeah.
share details of that.
There's tutorials on my Instagram
Yes.
of different little techniques,
Yeah.
eyelids underneath the eyes, releasing obviously the masseter muscle, which is
Yes.
here, that gets a little bit tight. And also we've got to remember that our lower face is one piece. It starts from the chest. So you can
Wow.
work the cups. If you're a side sleeper and you've got those lines, you
Yeah.
can work along the lines as well to
Wow. Okay.
release. And then this is one muscle, so you can work up. You just have to be careful because obviously we've got the thyroid there.
Yeah.
But this is one muscle. It stops here.
Wow.
Now,
Okay.
if this is tight, because we're all sitting like
Yes.
that,
Yes.
we've got to realize releasing the shoulders and working. I love to do some band work
Mm-hmm.
to release that tight.
Mm,
And also we can work the back of the neck as well. If we're suffering, you can
mm.
go up and down the back of the neck. It is so satisfying. And
Oh,
release. And also go down the shoulders.
yeah. So
Just
if there's an
really
element of being a bit
work that
instinctive
area.
about it, but be careful about the thyroid is basically
Yeah, and be
saying, yeah,
careful. We've got major arteries down the
okay,
side of the neck. So just not pulling them down, you could pass out.
yeah,
Yeah,
don't want that. Okay, that's
yeah,
amazing. So that's tutorial number 2. Now,
yeah.
tutorial number 3, taping. Now, again, I'm giggling because obviously I had visions of all kinds of tomfoolery taking place, but you
Yeah.
and I have talked about this before, and actually
Mm.
there's some growing evidence about the way that these tools can work. Again, a very cheap hack that you're going to
Mhm.
talk us through. And
Yeah.
then there's also a product for people like
Mhm.
me who just couldn't quite bring themselves
Yeah.
to tape themselves up. But talk
And
to me
we
about the
will
tape,
and
Justine.
we'll list everything where you can get these things from. But for now, we're just going to talk about what face tape is about. But
Yes.
it's come from a place of injury. So when people previously have got a muscle injury and they have been taped up
by their physio or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The principle of face tape is the muscle can still move, but the skin is not moving with it because it's raised up a little bit. So if you are making, a lot of us make a lot of movement in our sleep. So if you are stopping the skin moving with the muscle, you're giving it time to stop doing that movement over and over again. Exactly what Botox does. It stops the muscle from doing that action. So the skin isn't actually moving with it. So that's the principle of face taping. And I have done it for a very long time. I know other natural facialists or holistic facialists also do it as well. So it's really important when we are doing these things, you have to be consistent. You're not going to do it once. So I'd like to do it about 3 to 4 times per week. There's certain tape that you get because the one that I like, it's got enough movement, but it doesn't irritate the skin. But I've learned over time how to cut the tape. This is the tape that I use, very strong, and the different placements that I can use it. So I like to use it. I'm more of an upper face. So forehead lines, 11 lines, crow's feet. Some people can be lower face.
Yeah.
And even if you have got jaw tension, we can create that tension here. So the muscle is going, but the skin's not going with it. We can also tape along our smile lines. But the principle is that we stretch the skin and then we place the tape on.
Okay.
It can be very complicated to cut this tape, but I have got tutorials on my Instagram. What you are doing is cutting the tape, you rip it, and then you are placing it in the areas. I always let my skincare sit for at least 20 minutes before I tape.
Okay.
So it's not
The oils and
yeah, exactly. But say I wanted to do my 11 lines. Okay, the principle is that I get this tape and I cut it. So I've just cut a section off here.
Yeah.
I'm now going to fold it in half. Okay, I always round off the edges. That's because I don't want them annoying me when I'm asleep and peeling back.
Yeah.
So I always round them off. So now I've got 2 pieces of tape. And with that tape, I can then put these 2 here.
Yeah.
So what then I would do is at the back, rip that off and then put a small part there. I've placed it there, but now I'm stretching the skin. And then I peel the rest off.
Like you would a plaster when you've applied a plaster
and then
hygienically.
I'm pulling it back
Yeah.
and sticking it there. Okay.
Right.
Then I've got this piece. So now you've got this piece stuck here.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to double over because I've got really strong muscles here that just want to work. So I double up. So I've got a piece here and then a piece there.
And they're both pulling like that, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I stretch the skin and then stick it. But nowadays, everyone wants to save time. So there are brands out there, and we will list a brand that have pre-cut tapes. So all done for you.
Like a bit of convenience.
Yeah, so you can, if you've got the longer lines, you can just place there and stick them there and then stick them. Okay, Then we've got ones that work in the middle. So working, you can even put these on your smile lines,
Yeah.
your crow's feet around here. But pretty ones that are cut out, helping with the jaw.
Right.
So all you would do is this if you were doing the other tape. You would just cut out the same. So you'd be measuring, make a slit inside, stretching the jaw and placing it. And that's the principle of it, really.
So that's 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
20 minutes
And this
after you let
one
your
you can
skin
just
care.
stick like that.
And again, you're stretching up.
With, so you stretch that and stick that.
And Justine, is that something that will change your skin and your muscles over time, or is it a cosmetic thing that basically means the next day you're going to look brighter, but then your skin will go back?
What you're doing is you're training your skin over time, because your muscles are moving, but your skin isn't.
Yes.
So it's the same. This is all learned over time of making the same movement over and over again. If you're stopping that movement, the skin then has time to actually relax again.
Yeah, I love it.
From that
And obviously,
tension.
what was wonderful is that you and I had this conversation a little while ago, and I very honestly said, there's absolutely no way that I'm going to be able to be allowed loose with tape and scissors, and it would all end in tears. And there's a product that you then said to me, actually, you can put it on. It's kind of a double whammy then, because you've got a collagen mask that's going to help with my hydration, which we'll talk about in a minute. And it actually does the same thing. It almost holds your skin in place as you sleep. So I've got it actually here, and I'm on my second pot, and I never get the second pot of everything because I'm so much a soap and water girl. I've actually fallen in love with this. This feels to me like the easiest hack on the planet. Explain to me what it is and how we use it.
So basically, it's putting a collagen film over the skin. What that's going to do is, one, help with transdermal water loss, which happens around, I think, at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Right.
And obviously we are losing much more water with perimenopause and beyond. So it's trapping that in. So the skin is feeling and is much more hydrated. But 2, it's the skin is not moving around. And so the muscles are, but the skin isn't moving around so much. So it actually stops in a way. It kind of works. It's not as strong as phase taping, obviously.
No.
But you don't move the skin as much because it's left this film on the skin. It's not a strong way of doing it. I much prefer the taping.
Yeah.
Because that really does lift the skin.
Yes. I found this
just stopping the skin from crunching around, because if you're side sleeper, it's actually stopping it from you crunching up.
And the lines you often wake up with as well, which you don't when you put this on. And for me, it's been like step 1. And I was slightly nervous about wearing it overnight. Would I sleep? Would it be comfortable? Would it be uncomfortable? It's absolutely fine. And you wake in the morning and you peel it off, and it is like you've just had the best night's sleep, is the only way I can describe it. The wrinkles that I often wake up with, and the creases I often wake up with, I don't when I do this a few times a week. And again, it's a really easy thing to do as you clean your teeth. It's a little bit sticky as you lie there, but it very quickly dries. And by the time you've read a bit and turned your light off, it's it. So
it's just an easy hack. This is what I want to give to clients. Don't need to spend a lot of time, but just being consistent, releasing tight fascia, working on the principles of hydration, which is really key with our skin, can make dramatic changes to our aging process.
Yeah, I love it. And so that was exercise 3. So taping, how you do it, how you can do it cheaply, how you can do it easily. And if you're a novice like me, how you can start with a mask. And then the final section I wanted to talk to you about is when I first met you. And I've said this very honestly on Instagram, and that I was a soap and water girl. I remember a hilarious text exchange between you and I, where I was asking about how to use a serum, because I didn't really know what they were. And you said, before you moisturize. So I said, I don't use moisturizer. And you sent me back like a series of emojis that we won't repeat. And then you recommended a moisturizer. And I mean, I am that person. And in the last kind of couple of years, for your guidance, I feel like I found some products that are remarkably cost efficient. I've had them for months and months and months,
Mm.
and they're not expensive. And then I've invested in a couple of ones where I've,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, yes, they're expensive, but oh my word, within days I can see the impact. So I want you to talk me through what you've given me, because that's a great start point. And I, as someone, as I say, who was literally just using soap or sometimes the shower gel on my face, you recommended me a cleanser that uses water, because I do like to use cleanser. You recommended an investment, which is a stem cell serum that we're going to
but
talk
we'll
about.
go on to the reasons
for
that we are
doing that. And
Yeah.
then a moisturizer, which again is incredibly cost efficient. This whole brand actually you've recommended for my family. My son is now using it for his skin as a body wash, but this is the skin boosting moisturizers. Can you start me here, and why you recommended this, what's in it, and in midlife what we should be looking for when we're looking to a cleansing routine? So I know you're also a big believer that I'm quite rare actually, and someone who doesn't do enough, but most people are doing way too much.
Yes. Look, it's down also to the individual. But my principle is, if your skin is dry or dehydrated, and remember, you can still be acne prone and dehydrated, as we knew with your son, that's what was happening with him. So he had a barrier issue, but he was dry, dehydrated, and acne prone. So working on the principle of hydration. The skin's made up of lipids and water. So we needed to find what was out of balance for him. And most women, if they are in perimenopause and they're having irritated skin, that's dry, it's dehydrated, an oil cleanser can be amazing for you. It's really good at hydrating, putting the lipids back into your skin, hydrating the skin. I'm about cleansing, double cleansing at night, getting off your makeup, but also getting off the pollution that's out there.
Yeah.
In the morning, I do not believe in cleansing in the morning if you have dry or dehydrated skin. Just because I want to keep all of that water and those lipids on. So a quick wipe with a microfiber cloth with water just to get off some sleep off your eyes, and that's it. When that skin is wet, you then go in. I believe you put on all your products with damp skin. It just pulls all of everything from a toner to a hydrating toner to serums, and oils go on damp skin. So it's got something, we need that moisture for it to cling to. And then moving on to lock it all in with a moisturizer, and if you want an oil, you can always put thinnest products to thickest products.
Okay.
So depending on what you're using, some people, if their moisturizer is thicker or thinner than an oil, they will put that last. But you always put from thin to the thicker product.
That's really interesting. So if you were talking to me, I would use my cleanser twice. I'd be washing off the makeup,
A double cleansing in the evening.
And
say
then what
if you were doing your cupping and all your other bits and pieces. So say you were going in and you were going to do your Buccal facial, then use your cups with your oil.
Yeah. So I would have cleaned my face, then I'd put the oil on.
Or you could even do your moisturizer if it has enough grip on there. I like to use an oil just because I find in the evening it does really help with my dry skin. And I will put a couple of different oils that I like. You always put on your serum before an oil if you're doing these. So your serum always goes on second. And then your moisturizer.
Okay. And so sorry, I'm going to ask the questions because I'm not an expert at all in faces.
No, it's fine.
So what's the difference between an oil and a serum? Why do I need both? What do they do?
A serum is a targeted product. So the serums are there to actually target a issue. So say that issue is barrier or pigmentation or acne or pro-aging as in tightening the skin. That's what a serum will do.
Okay.
An oil is there to just moisturize your skin. So yeah,
That's really
or
helpful.
hydrate the skin or moisturize the skin. Moisturizer or hydrate. That's what those products do.
As a
It's a
moisturizer.
targeted thing that you're trying to deal with.
Right. That makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
So do I then need a moisturizer on top of my oil, or do I choose an oil
You,
versus an oil?
you choose whatever you feel is needed. But I use the oil with the cups because it is easier to work. Say your moisturizer is thick enough, you can use that. But I tend to use that. And also, it's great for hydrating the skin.
Wonderful. Justine, that's just literally made my life so much clearer. So I understand what I need. What I love about you is your high street to high end is how I always describe you. So
Yes.
when you're thinking, we're going to talk about a serum that you recommended me and why sometimes these investments are important.
Yeah.
But aside from that, you talked about an oil-based cleanser as a really great thing for people if they're dehydrated or they've got sensitivity
And then
issues.
we've got things like enzymes cleansers that are a bit more targeted. I think that's what we put your son on.
Yeah.
It's going to go in, clean those pores up. But some people will use a oil cleanser first to melt all their SPF pollution away. Second cleanse is a little bit deeper to clean out the pores and help with exfoliation. So it will depend on your skin type. Some people just will use one cleanser for doing both cleanses, or they will have an oil one and a gel cleanser to give a deeper clean. I personally do because I wear makeup and sunscreens and the pollution. I like to have that enzyme cleanser.
And what brands do you love? We talked here about some of them. Is it Celamax that you've recommended to me?
Yes,
for
Celamax, a lot of them are Korean brands.
Yes.
That I love, but also I love brands that get a job done. And I like brands that work between like every kind of near enough every skin type, if possible. You can have the best product in the world, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone.
Yes.
That's why understanding your skin. The Ceramics one I love because it can work for acne-prone skin.
Yes.
As well as super dry and dehydrated skin. Nothing inside of it has got anything that's going to disrupt that barrier. Some of the creamy toners that are out there still got things like hyaluronics in there can really disrupt acne-prone skin, or they have coconut oils in them. So I try and look for products that have got ceramides, peptides in them, and ingredients that are going to really hydrate the skin. Doesn't matter if you're acne prone or dry skin. And it's what I work on the principle it would probably work for most people. So they're not wasting products.
These are all really efficient. This one's called Medotherapy. And again, you recommended this one to me, and my son also uses this as a moisturizer. We both love it because it's so light. Yeah, exactly. And again, very cost efficient. So we talked about those two, and then we touched very briefly there on my skin journey with you, which has been over a number of years. I had really quite worrying sunspots on my face. You know, my face had aged. I'd always struggled with acne, and as I went into perimenopause, I got it really badly along my jawline. And over the last few years, I've learnt more and more from you, and I have also invested in some advanced facials with you. But can you talk to me about stems? And because again, I didn't know what they were. You needed me to work quite hard on my barrier and the sort of the health of my skin almost before you did anything else, which is again why I love you. You would never just do a facial because you're like, your skin's not ready. It's not ready for it. So talk to me about what happens and how stems work when they're applied to the face topically.
So you wanted to do a lot more advanced facials. So everything from microneedling to plasma fusion facials, which is what we're doing on you, which is the warm plasma. So we started off making sure that your skin was in the best, healthiest possible condition for us to do that. Because if you are working on your skin and doing advanced facials on facials that are not hydrated, that haven't got those nutrients in them, you're not going to get the results that you're going to get. So the healthier your skin is, the better the results are going to be. Now, you wanted to work on your sunspots, which we have, but I also said you have to work on your liver health.
Yes.
To work on pigmentation. And we knew that your pigmentation, because it was in a circle, was all about, the liver zone also it was pointing to. And your large intestine is where the area as well that we needed to work on. So making sure, looking where that inflammation is coming up with your pigmentation. Gut health, because of stress as well. So we looked at that and you had quite a large area.
Yeah.
Now, why STEM was good? Because it actually repairs any damage. So it was helping to repair any damage that was there. We slowly worked. Pigmentation does not like heat, right? And so we had to deal with your pigmentation first. So we worked on cooling the skin more. So retinol sometimes can warm the skin up. So, it depends on what you're working on. So we wanted to work on repairing any damage. And that's what stem cells do. They drop down. It's also about the product. You've got to understand the products have delivery systems. And the better the product is, the better the delivery system, so it can get to those cells and repair that damage. Stem cells are little messengers that are coming along and telling your signals. So your skin cells have signalings to them. And what those stem cells are doing is telling your skin what to do, basically. And they've got peptides inside them and amino acids to help repair those broken stem cells and speed up the stem cells to work and awaken them a little bit better. So that's all they're doing. So it helps with collagen stimulation as well as elastin. And that's what we needed to work on with you, was more your elastin.
That's amazing. I'm now about to be on to my third bottle of this. I use it morning and night, and I would say in the first week I could see a complete transformation. I did all of the things we just talked through. So I did, didn't I? I started on the cleanser, started moisturizing for the first time properly in my life, and also then applying this. And it has been a transformation experience. And we're going to talk about the at-home device that I also invested in. I think it's fair to say that I'm very consistent. If someone tells me to do something that I trust, I will do it.
I know you are.
And
client.
I am a perfect client. I mean, I'm very literal, which is why I sometimes take a while to get to things. But once I'm on it, I will do it until you tell me to stop. And I think that's the other important thing to highlight here. I'm not someone with a lot of disposable income, and I do trust you implicitly. And we're going to talk about an investment that I made probably 2 years ago now when you first found it. And the reason you loved it was it's this sort of multi-purpose and also probably one of the most powerful tools that we can get to use at home. And if you haven't got the budget to come and see someone like yourself, or you haven't got the budget to invest in all of these other things that we get bombarded with on Instagram, your advice to me was get this one thing. And I've used it 5 times a week, I would say pretty much every day since. And my sunspots completely
There
gone.
was
So
a
tell me
reason why your sunspots changed, because what this device was doing, and it has 4 different technologies in it. But what it was doing was, one, creating more collagen. So the more collagen you have is actually healing the skin. But you are creating movement, which then is feeding those skin cells. So in a way, you were healing your skin by using this. So you were creating movement creating collagen, but it has red light in that. So it also was stimulating collagen as well. So
Okay.
all of that, you were just speeding up those skin cells to actually heal quicker.
So tell us what it is, because it's a very odd looking thing, and tell us
Yes.
also how we should use it.
So it is an at-home device. It is not a miracle. Some people then go, well, you know, my lines are still there. And I'm like, yes, but your lines probably might have been a little bit deeper. So this is not a miracle tool.
There aren't any
What it will
miracles,
do,
Justine.
Hmm?
Yes. I was
Yeah,
going to say
but
there are no
because
miracles.
I want people to understand what these tools are capable of.
Yes.
But it's the closest you can come to an at-home facial.
Yes.
Now, it's got EMS, which is a muscle stimulator.
Mm-hmm.
It has got red light in it. It's got near infrared, and it's also got radio frequency, which is, it warms the skin up to create collagen. So on your daily, you have all of that going on at the same time. Then you can target certain areas like the microcurrent, the muscle stimulator, to work on certain areas like your jawline or opening up the eye area, or radio frequency, working on that to soften the lines.
Yeah.
And then the red light is there, passing over the face to help stimulate collagen. The EMS is creating energy within your skin cells, which is waking them up, because that's what we need. And even clients of mine who do Botox have one of these because they're still working the muscle. You can't rely on just injecting that muscle and leaving it, because the muscle needs to be fed. If it's not fed, it gets something called atrophy. And then the muscle is told, don't send any nutrients to it. So over time, that muscle will shrink. And so then the skin around it will actually become baggier. So working the face, even if you've got Botox, and creating nutrients to that muscle,
Yeah, it's really interesting.
is
And
really important.
I've gotten to have it. I mean, it's probably very annoying for my family, but I will have it on whilst we're watching television
Yeah.
together. This is what I do in the evening after I've done everything else.
Yeah.
It's my sort of pre-bedtime
Yeah.
routine. I'm reading the paper. I've got this in one hand, and and it's
Yeah.
become such a part of my life. I feel like I've really looked after. And like you said, I do feel like it's been a little bit of a workout for it, and
Yeah.
it's helped with things like even my watery eyes in the morning, because I guess
Yeah.
it depuffs before I go to sleep, and it's kind of
Yeah.
helping with those glands as well.
And it's helping to drain toxins away. I am giving people so many different options from, yes, this is an investment and it is a great investment, but so are the cups, so are the tapes, and everything else. There is something for everyone's budget. Taping will help with fine lines. It will help with draining any puffiness. It will help with sinuses, as will the cups, as will this. So
Yes.
there is something for everyone, you know,
Yes.
to be able to work their skin the way they want to.
Yeah, and I love this. So again, when we say investment, it's a lot less than some other of the brands that are probably being pushed towards on
Yeah.
Instagram. And what I've actually loved about these guys is I'm quite a hard-wearing human, and mine fell apart after about a year. And the customer service is phenomenal. They replaced it without quibble, and as I say, it's been perfect ever since. So again, Justin, we'll share links of this in the show notes, because you sell it in the UK, and you're a great person again for people to follow, because you do quite a few techniques in terms of how to use this
I
option.
do, in the show and talk about benefits of it. I was looking for a product, like both my best friends have it and absolutely love it. Clients of mine have it, absolutely love it. They use it all the time. Most of the people who come and see me are, as I say, all about not going down the route of injectables. But as I say, clients of mine who still have